Okay, so hi, welcome back to the Irish teacher. Now, excitement. That's birthday today. Yeah, it wasn't direction. I'm guessing you're thinking it was going to go. Dad turned 53 today, so happy birthday to him. I'm turning 24 this weekend, so happy birthday to me. And yeah, so I had to have that moment right there. Now, teaching and stuff, and education, good stuff. Basically, here's what's been going on. My school, we had to have our grades in by today, actually, and it's not like for report cards or anything. It's just kind of like a little progress report, letting students know how they're doing. I've got just about all my grades in, but a few days ago, I wasn't even remotely ready because I didn't know this was coming. And excuse me. So here is advice for people: get on top of your grading as quick as humanly possible because it sucks when you're not on time and you're fall behind. So it's very difficult to catch up. So do that. Yeah. What else is there I want to talk about? I don't know. I've got some things I want to talk about right today. It's been a very long week. The beginning of my week was actually kind of not fun, but as the week's been going by, it's been getting much, much better. And first of all, it's like shorts weather still, almost. Okay, but now today probably less so because it's cloudy and gloomy and stuff. But it's shorts weather, so that was really nice. I got to class outside, we got to goof off a little bit, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that with my kids. And so yeah, so that was good. One thing I'm going to tell you, though, something I learned this week. Make time for yourself, because if you don't, you're going to burn yourself out, which is no good for anybody. So the beginning of my week was, I was all, yeah, it was just bad. I was exhausted the entire first part of the week, and I did not have any energy I had barely enough energy to get out of bed. So we'll just say that. Clearly, I'm much more energized now. I took today off, came home to celebrate birthday weekend with me and Dad, because, that's what we do. So I actually got to have I got to sleep until 7 today, which is great. Last year when I was still in college, if I had said, I get to sleep until 7, I'd be like, heck no. That would be like getting up early. Anything before 8 o'clock when I was in college was considered early. And here I am, thankfully I get to wake up at 7 o'clock. Jesus. But yeah, no, so that was great. And yeah, so find time for yourself and enjoy the little things because you're going to need it. It definitely helps make things go better. Now, I'm going to say this much. I've been teaching now for a month, and I still like my job. I enjoy what I do, and despite all the crazy stuff I've had to put up with, I still enjoy my job, which is great. And not a lot of people can say that. I've got a lot of friends who, when they graduated college, thought they could find a teaching job pretty easily, or they could find it in their area and not have to move around. It's like, so this is all, they don't really, more or less, more of them do not have teaching jobs than those who do. So I'm moving this because I'm just going to lean forward and be intense. So yeah, so that's something I think, I just wanted to mention. A lot of my friends don't have a teaching job. A few of them became ed techs, but a lot of them are just kind of doing whatever they can get. So, I mean, is what it is. Makes me feel grateful and lucky to have what I have now, even if it is way the heck out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this is way, way, way out in the sticks. Way out in the sticks. So, but yeah, so just about that. I just started a brand new unit with my juniors. We're doing this whole kind of debate thing, which is going to be cool. We finished up the Crucible, for the most part. We finished up the Crucible. We still have a couple presentations that haven't happened just yet, but hopefully those will happen soon. So, but yeah, so we finished up the Crucible. They didn't like it, and to be honest, reading it the second time, I didn't like it as much as I did the first time. I don't know what it was, but yeah, so there you go. Anyway, so we're doing this whole debating thing going on right now, and it's exciting and fun and cool, and I'm really, really pumped about it because I think this is a great way to get them to practice their persuasive writing as well. I mean, they go hand in hand. Either way, you're trying to be persuasive in your argument and make a point. So that'll be really fun to do. We've already started a little bit. We did a little practice one where we went with the topic of dress code and uniforms and stuff like that. Should schools enforce like the uniform policy or dress code policy like that or not? And that went over all right. It was their first kind of, they had to research for this for a couple days before we actually did our debate, and they had to research for both sides because I was just going to draw names out of a hat for who's going to be on which side, because I want them to get the idea that they have to actually, they can't just support their side. They have to be able to support any side. You know, it's kind of like a mini law class. Not really. Actually, that's not even remotely right. Anyway, so that was exciting. It was very exciting, very fun. And now at the end of that class, after that debate, we talked about it a little bit, and then we had them pick what they want to do for topics next, which were really, really cool. Except the problem was all the topics they picked are ones I don't know if I can do or not, because they're just, they're very controversial. Topic of gay marriage came up, abortion, gun control, all of these things are coming up. Some of them weren't that bad. Oh, there's also legalizing marijuana. I mean, I don't know how well this is going to go, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my own opinions out of this, because as a teacher I can't lean towards one side or the other, or I'm not supposed to. Well, let me be more clear. You know, obviously I can have my own opinions, and that's, you can't avoid that, but you can't really necessarily push your opinions onto your students. So it'll be really difficult for me to kind of avoid that situation. Plus, some of these topics, I don't know if they're like school appropriate. Like, I don't know if like arguing for legalizing marijuana is something we can talk about in school. I'm going to talk to my principal about this and see if these are things we can discuss in a classroom setting. But yeah, and I told them also they have to be ready to argue either side, even if they want to have, I don't know, less restrictive gun laws or more restrictive. They have to be ready to argue for the opposite side as well. The idea of this being that they know not just how to defend their view, but any view. That they know how to make an argument, take a stance, and defend their position, regardless of whatever that position is. So obviously, in my mind, the best way to be able to do that is to practice defending the position you don't agree with. If you can defend the position you don't really necessarily agree with and do a good job of it, then clearly you know what you're doing. So at least that's my mind. So yeah, that'll be exciting. And yeah, so we also, my 8th graders, they just started a whole new batch of testing. We've already done one set of testing for like a week and a half for everybody. That put me way behind. And now my 8th graders, they're doing a whole other round of testing. So there goes my plans for the next week and a half, or actually a week, because you know, this week's pretty much done now, so just a week. But anyway, so yeah, there goes my plans for them. Now it's just getting them started on persuasive writing. Basically, all my students are going to be soon getting involved with persuasive writing because they need some practice with it. I have a certain style that I like, and I want them to not necessarily adapt to my style, but understand what I think is important in persuasive writing. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It should be fun. Yeah. So I also have, I've been trying to think of a way I could tie in Lord of the Rings into my class without having them read all the books, because as much as I love Lord of the Rings, the first half of Fellowship of the Ring is very slow. And the book and the movie. So I'm trying to think of a way I can do this that'll be interesting to them, because I have a ton of students who have not read Lord of the Rings yet, and I know you're thinking, how could they have never read Lord of the Rings or seen? Some of them haven't even seen Lord of the Rings. And you're wondering, how on earth could they survive in this world without the knowledge of Gandalf and Frodo and Aragorn and all that awesome stuff? Well, I don't know, but I'm planning on fixing that. So that'll be exciting for me. I just gotta figure out how to do it. So yeah, so in case you can't tell, I'm a little bit hyped up and I'm a little bit excited. So I'm not sure where that came from actually. Been driving around a lot lately, so I'm not sure why I'm so pumped up right now. But anyway, I want to enjoy it while I got it. So that was fun. My school, we've got this whole soccer thing going on. most of the kids start to play soccer, which is great because I love soccer, but none of them watch professionally really. So I'm hoping I can get them watching a few games and seeing if that changes things. But anyway, so soccer. So I've been helping out after school with our middle school girls team because the coach and we were just sitting one day talking about soccer, and I was like, can I just come by practice sometime and help out? Because there's a few things I noticed that you could totally do to make things better, and they're like, yeah, sure, come by. So that was fun. I'm starting to hang out with the soccer kids more, and more like after school and stuff, hanging out, watching games, which is cool because, I love soccer. I'm like a soccer mom on the field. It's horrible. I'm shouting at the top of my lungs. My voice will break before the game is done. Like, before even half the game is done, I start to hear my voice just crack, which is embarrassing, but whatever. So yeah. I will point out one challenge that I've had trouble facing, and if you have any suggestions on how to face this, I am more than open to hearing about it. So I have a number of students who have expressed no real interest in leaving their town. They don't really plan on going to college, be it because of financial issues, or they don't think they're smart enough, or they don't need it, or a bunch of other stuff. They have no desire to go to college. So when they ask me, why are we doing what we're doing, like reading To Kill a Mockingbird or something like that, and like, why do we need this? I'm not going to college. I'm not going to need this stuff. And I actually wonder, like, okay, why? How do I respond to that? I try to connect it to the real world as much as humanly possible. Like with To Kill a Mockingbird, talk about how racism and prejudice is still an issue today, which they actually got into a really interesting conversation with, and they actually engaged with that, which is great. I wish it would been a different kind of engaged, but still, they for the most part, don't really seem to see the value in it. Or not just my reading stuff, though, but my writing as well. They don't say, like, why do I need to learn how to write a persuasive essay if I'm never going to write a persuasive essay after high school? I'm like, because you need to know how to write and how to do it well, and it's not just how to write persuasively, but to be able to frame an argument, defend it. And, like, so why do I need this again? I'm having trouble making them really kind of feel invested in what they're doing in my classroom. So if you have any suggestions, especially for a school where a lot of kids aren't really planning on going to college, I am more than open to hearing them because I am running out of stuff to talk about. So if you got stuff, I can appreciate it because I am like I'm like running out of rope here. I don't know what else to tell these kids sometimes. So yeah. What else I want to talk about? There's at the beginning of the week, I had actually had less than fun. I said earlier at the beginning of my week wasn't all that great, but what I had to do was I had walked into class and I told my students, okay, read chapters, whatever, of To Kill a Mockingbird, and I split them into groups and gave them like kind of a big idea to look at and discuss. And as I'm going to each group, almost everybody in the group was saying, oh yeah, I hadn't read the book. And they're all kind of like, they weren't ashamed about it. They were openly admitting like, oh yeah, I didn't read it. I had stuff to do. I had better stuff to do. So I'm not sure how one would respond to that. I didn't know how to respond to that. So that's just something to keep in mind, that you're going to have students who are going to do that to you. And I'm still not sure how to respond to that. But yeah, so that was one experience that wasn't particularly great this week. But everything else was great. I actually had a really good week for the most part. So yeah. Okay, I'm running out of time on this thingy because I think I only get like 15 minutes or whatever. So here's the deal. I will be back soon in my own apartment. Right now I'm at my parents' house for the weekend. So I get to enjoy nice free laundry and food. I'll be back soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and stuff. And have a nice day.